Sup, this is David, and I want to start off with a little quote here. So forget rich versus poor. It's now leverage versus unleveraged. Naval Ravikant. Digital leverage gives us a huge competitive advantage in business. It reduces the need for human labor. It minimizes human error. It keeps profit margins high and complexity low, and takes advantage of the infinite scale potential of the internet. Human labor, I believe, it's one of the lowest forms of leverage, while digital is one of the highest forms. With human leverage, it's like input one typically, and then output one, right? With digital, it's like input one, and then you have the potential to have practically infinite leverage. So replacing the lever and the position of the fulcrum with one that has massive output potential. And one way to do that is to eliminate sales calls, and to replace it with a digital offer such as a Google Doc, Notion, webpage, etc. So a sales team, what I like to visualize it as, is like a bunch of boat rowers. Yeah, it works. Sales calls definitely do work, right? It moves the boat forward, and you can have a lot of these rowers, okay? But even with the bunch of these rowers, do you want a bunch of boat rowers? Or do you want a freaking engine instead? So I've been in the digital marketing space for like 15 plus years now, and longer than that if you actually include my first business. But like a quick like origin story here is like, and that picture on me on the right is not me. It's just what ChatGPT came out with. It kind of looks like Song Jin-woo from Solo Leveling. But on my 15th birthday, I asked for like my dad's credit card and like to start like my first like online business, right? And so with a couple of like, I think a few $100s, I was actually able to make my first dollars online. Like I actually did make money. And that time, it kind of unlocked this belief for me. Hey, this stuff is possible. Like this stuff, I can actually make this stuff where I can actually make money online. And so like it unlocked like this big belief for me, right? And guess what? I didn't need a freaking sales team to do it. And so this presentation, this video training, it's really about unlocking these beliefs, unlocking belief that you can actually sell some high ticket offers without the need of a sales team, and you can use digital leverage instead. And so during that time when I was a younger kid, I like to call it the golden age of digital marketing, like a time of pioneers, experimentation. It was like the wild west of the internet, right? So, and some people were still using dial-up, and back then, like payment processing was really hard to get. It was really hard to like transfer money online. And this was like the time of like the Frank Kerns of the world, the Dan Kennedys, the Jeff Walkers, the John Reeses of the world, right? And I love this era because this is why I fell in love with digital marketing. Like we can use the power of the internet to like sell things. I can like write some words up. I can, like put this on a web page somewhere and put it up and like make money. And a long time ago, like probably like 15 plus years ago, like internet marketers, what they used to do is you have like a long sales letter, these like long like web pages with like all these words on the page, and some people did via sales as well. But we used to have these long sales letters, and we used to sell things digitally. We didn't need to hire any salespeople. Like there was an era, like the sales team hiring of these sales calls and these sales teams stuff, like it didn't really like resonate with it. It wasn't even in the digital marketing space at that time. And it worked beautifully. It worked really beautifully, and many people bought. And this included like high ticket offers, like thousands of dollars of offers, and including me, by the way. I bought a bunch of these like digital marketing products, and sometimes like $6,000 plus offer with a single sales page, and that is it, right? It unlocked more beliefs for me. As I said, like this stuff works, and you can make a ton of money by selling digital things. It slowly started unlocking the belief of the masses too, and the internet caught on, right? As the internet progressed, more and more people were comfortable with putting their credit card online. Back in the day, that was very foreign, but then like more people got adjusted to it, and like the market sophistication, it moves, right? It moved. Then somehow, the industry kind of shifted. Like we used to sell things digitally without the need of a sales call, but all of a sudden, and I blame Sam over that. Like I love you, Sam. I've been involved in his courses and everything, his community. But I love you, Sam. But we started on this sales call trend, right? And like, I remember taking, one of his courses, and then like he said to focus on like the two main things of business. It's like generating strategy sessions and doing strategy sessions. I mean, there were like a few other ones, but then the most important things for our business was generating strategy sessions and doing strategy sessions. And it kind of stuck into the mind of the market. Okay, especially like getting into like newer like digital marketers at that time. And don't get me wrong, there's a time and place for sales calls, and it can work for a certain business type, right? But that's just one way of doing things. I believe we're going backwards. That golden era of the digital age, we didn't rely on sales calls at all. You know what I mean? We just sold through like a long sales letter, and that was it. And the thing is, like, strategy sales, they work well, and it's fast, okay? And there's a reason why so many people jumped on the bandwagon. But like I said, that's just one way of doing things. There's like freaking a million ways to sell things online. It felt like we went backwards. We went from using digital offers, using digital leverage, to the lowest form of leverage, using human labor. And so what happened was we spent 80% of our time on these so-called strategy sessions, these discovery calls, right? And actually only 20% of our time actually serving our clients. And I believe it should be flipped. 80% of our time should be spent serving our actual clients, and then 20% on acquisition. So this kind of brought about like the rise of like the sales empire, right? And what's the point of like having a sales team in the first place? It's like, why do you want a sales team? Like, why do you want a salesperson? Isn't it to create sales? So it's a means to an end, isn't it? It's like, we don't want a sales team. We don't want a salesperson. We want sales at the end of the day. But most of us have been so indoctrinated that we think that this is the only way. We, watch some videos online. We listen to some guru doing like sales calls, and then we think that's the only way. Like, we can't like shift out of this paradigm, right? So we think having a sales team is the end goal. We think that's the only way to scale when it's the sales that we're after, when it's the clients that we're after. So the business model we are in allows or disallows the scaling of our business. If our business involves sales calls and sales people, then humans, they become the bottleneck, and it disallows scaling in according to the business model. We can't scale as fast or as widely because we think we need a freaking 45-minute discovery call to do it when we absolutely do not need it at all. So that leaves us to digital leverage. We quickly eliminate that bottleneck by going digital, and you sell with the simple Google Doc. That is it, right? And look, I was skeptical too, just like, many of you watching this are like, no way, does this really work? Well, of course, like I told you, like, back in the day, this is all we did. Like, we sold everything digital. But if you need like more proof, it's like, don't just take my word for it. You should actually try it. Try this for yourself to prove that it works. But I was so acclimated to sales calls, and this is my experience, right? That it was hard to wash off the brainwashing, right? So in my head, I thought the same thing that you're probably thinking. Like, okay, they probably work for like low ticket products, but high ticket though, and recurring. So I tested it. I was like, okay, let me test it. Let me just freaking test this thing. So I sent out a few offers for my previous business, which was a marketing agency, right? To a few potential prospects with a simple Google Doc. And it worked. And it freaking worked like a charm. And it was like the easiest closes of my life. I just sent them a couple pages of a freaking Google Doc, and they were like, okay, I'm in. You know what I mean? And then a few, 1,500 plus recurring, this is recurring, by the way, recurring revenue clients for like a 6-month contract. I was like, okay, dude, this stuff works. That was enough proof for me. But not just me either. Like the giants that came before me that I actually got this idea from, they started selling with docs, and they have been doing millions with this. Okay, millions. Like simple, like 5-page Google Doc generating, for some giants like 100K in MRR plus 150K here, 250K here in MRR. So now, this is now a proven system. Okay, this is now a proven system, and it works because human psychology works the same way, whether it's on a sales call or whether it's on a sales page, digitally or in human form. And it's like it unlocked this big belief for me, just like when I was that little kid making my first dollar online, and it unlocked the belief. like the golden era of digital marketing, that you can sell with the sales page. It unlocked a belief, right? Selling high ticket with the Google Doc, a Notion, an email, a DM. It unlocked a belief, just like I did when I made that first money online. And I want to bring that golden era of the digital marketing age back. Let's go back to a digital era and unlock your belief that it can be done. And don't just take my word for it, by the way. You can try this out for yourself, okay? And what I want you to do is, I have a free Google Doc template. You could just, download it and copy it to your drive. I have a free Google Doc template you can have for free, and the version I'm sending you, it works best with like having like a warm audience already. So if you already have like kind of like a warm audience who know you a little bit, this works best with that kind of audience. What you can do to get this is to comment down below with the phrase "sell without sales calls," and I'll send you the free Google Doc template. Okay, comment down below with the phrase "sell without sales calls." So you have to unlock the belief for yourself, right? And I think it was like Sam Altman who said this, like, there will be a point when the first solo billionaire will be created. When the first solo billionaire will be created. Because now we live in an era of AI. We live in an era of so much digital leverage now that we don't even need humans anymore. Of course, if you want to have a team, like a small team, yeah, for sure, I'll go for it. You know what I mean? But a lot of times we can now replace that with digital leverage. So this is how powerful digital leverage is. And we can start using this big leverage, starting with a simple Google Doc. Okay. And for us coaches and consultants, maybe $1 billion is, it's like way out there. But I believe millions is absolutely within reach. Absolutely. And I've seen it time and time again. The giants who came before me, they're doing millions with just a simple Google Doc. Because automation systems, digital assets is the breaker of chains, my friend. So comment with the word "sell" without sales calls down below, and I'll talk to you soon, my friend. Talk to you soon. You chain breaker, you. Let's unlock those chains. Talk soon. Bye.